Well, we'll move on from the Raiders and move to the team that you just sort of spoke about then. That's the LA Chargers. LA Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, new head coach in town, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, we know, but obviously has been coaching in Michigan for the longest time. Obviously, at the Michigan Wolverines, was very, very successful there as well. Had some sort of black clouds over him on occasion with certain activities that happened at Michigan. But a new quarterback in town a new head coach in town with a quarterback that we all believe to be very capable, Sky. But we almost need to see more from him, even though we've seen great stuff already. So he can shake off this whole just a stats quarterback mantra that a lot of fans are giving him.
I know I'm trying to hold back my excitement to talk about Justin Herbert. I just think this is
Oh, now you can. You're allowed to. You're allowed
I
to.
just think it's the perfect fit. Like I've seen a lot of people in this offseason sort of question about, not obviously Harbaugh and Herbert seems like the perfect fit, but people saying about Greg Roman coming in as an offensive coordinator. I don't think that's a bad thing because we've seen many great quarterbacks in the past where you start to run the ball more. It just sort of takes the pressure off of an elite guy to then make those throws. So I think Harbaugh's got his coaching staff right. I just, even on the defensive side, they've brought in Jesse Minter as their coordinator. He likes to bring a lot of pressure and blitz, create pressure up front. I know people say like guys like Khalil Mack are aging, but when you still got him, Bosa, I think with a coach like Harbaugh leading the way, they're in a good position. And just to go back to Justin Herbert, I mean, Colin Kaepernick was made to look good with John Harbaugh and Greg Roman. And that's nothing against him. I liked Colin Kaepernick. But we're talking about Justin Herbert, who we all know has got elite talent. So I feel like as an organization, they're going in the right way. Of course, despite me hyping up, we all acknowledge they're not probably a Super Bowl contender, but they're definitely a team who's interested in making the playoffs. And I think they've got a good chance of coming with their schedule as well. From what I've seen, it doesn't look particularly challenging. They've got some favorable matchups. I could sort of see them coming out of, the gate hot, getting a few wins, and then with any new head coach, it's like in any sport, it just builds confidence from day one.
This squad, Adam, for as long as time we've said is very talented, but it's just not really hit the heights just yet. And with all the experience that Harbaugh has around the league and around the college game as well, what do you think he brings to the table for this team? What's new about him compared to the other coaches that they've had previously?
I think it's probably just experience and dealing with players. I think in the last few years, some of them coaches have been quite young, haven't they? And it's almost like a new gig for them. And I think that they've
almost wanted the new McVay, haven't they? They've almost seen it across town in the same stadium.
And if it hasn't been that, it's been through like a young guy through college as well, So it's kind of like you're trying, I suppose, like you say, you're going for the new hotness type sort of thing, and it just isn't necessarily the best thing to do. And I think that you've now got someone there who's got that experience, got that knowledge, and the ability to deal with sort of like not just young players like he did at college, but also older NFL pros as well, like he has done in the past. So he has a way that he wants to play. It's going to be very obvious the way that he wants to play. He's brought in the perfect offensive coordinator in order to do it.
Yeah.
And this ball is just going to be run like 90% of the time, because that's basically what they do. It really, in theory, should open up for Justin Herbert here. Like this just so much more time and space, and having these more sort of like experienced guys. He's brought in players like Bud Dupree as another edge rusher. He's brought in Hayden Hurst, who, he's not the greatest tight end in the world, but it doesn't matter because you just need a guy to catch the ball once out of 6 plays or something like that. Will Disley, another one who's come for him from the Seahawks, is great. A couple of running backs in Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, who are just solid running backs. All of this, what they've done has been very, very cheap. So they've really sort of like, they've worked it quite well, where it's almost like they've made a massive change, but incredibly cheaply. And I think that's going to see them in good stead in the future, because when they finally get this sort of game plan going and everyone gets used to it, because it's going to take a bit of time. I think this season is kind of like a sort of like everyone getting to know each other, and you got to feel they're going to improve from last year because it was so bad last year going 5-12. But I think that it really is about everyone getting to know each other, running the ball as much as possible, taking all pressure off of Herbert that you possibly can. And you can see, like, that's why he brought in players like Joe Alt in the first round. I mean, it's like I would argue the best O-line guy. I know he didn't go first, but I would say he's the best O-line guy. Lad McConkey is a solid receiver who can catch the ball. He will be fine in the NFL. And so they've improved massively, I think. They haven't spent a lot. If it all clicks, I've got them going 9 wins. If it doesn't all click and it's a bit of a disaster, I still think they're better than what they were last year. So I think it's just about time and getting used to it. And yeah, I mean, Jim Harbaugh is going to be hilarious to watch in the NFL again. So, I mean, it's worth it just for that.
He certainly is a character.